am so sorry I'm late. I give the kids to Fred, and let me tell you, it has been a challenge. Did you order yet?
I got us 2 lattes, and there is a surprise coming.
Oh my God, it's getting harder and harder to go out for events. But I made a deal with Fred. I get the weekend off. I gave them to him.
Does Craig have Monday off from school?
Thank you. I was making the kids' lunches. He's off till Wednesday.
This had some beautiful cinematography to it. And I loved the two actresses and how well they played off of each other. They had a rapport. Everything was organic and believable. They did such a good job. And the story was there. It had a great beginning, a middle, and an end to it. My favorite part was when the server had come over and she sang happy birthday at the table. That was just comedic gold. It was so awkward and so perfectly done that I laughed out loud. But it had a really heartfelt ending.
I am a sucker for a single scene, one location type of short that's very conversation focused. And, like a lot of the story being told through dialogue and talking and, getting a sense of like what's happening in these characters' lives, basically like a character study. So I really enjoyed that. And I think that the lead and the person who played her friend did a very good job. I think they have great chemistry, and I think the scene worked very well between the two of them. And I think that, the conversation they were having, it was real, it was raw, authentic. Definitely stories that need to be talked about a lot more, with like different levels of maternity and like, people wanting to start a family and all that stuff and like the troubles people have, there's always those conversations I feel like women have where people wonder, like, after you've been married a certain time or after you're with someone for a certain time, it's like, why haven't you had kids? And like, blah, 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 all these things, like making all these assumptions without realizing that you don't truly know what's going on in someone's life. And you don't know if they're struggling to do it. You don't know if like what the situation is and all that. And I think it was very interesting using, I feel like the cat as a crutch. I think that was very interesting and a great segue into that conversation. So I thought that was great. And then by the end, I feel like where she is being asked if she wants anything else, and her question is that she doesn't really know, and I like that double entendre of like, obviously we know she's not talking about her order, and like I feel like the cashier low-key knows she's not talking about the order, but like we know more with the context of what was happening, what she's really probably saying. And I thought that was very beautiful and a very interesting way to end the piece because I feel like it's real, I feel like it's raw.
The technique of playing the last card at the very end was smart in that like it drew me in because I was trying to figure out what they were talking about. And I was like, I feel like this is about more than just a husband and her cat. Like, where are we building to? And then the domino drops, and you're like, oh, and it hits like a ton of bricks, and you feel it. And I thought that was an effective narrative technique. And so, yeah, great writing, great directing.
I thought this was really good. I thought this was really intense. But I thought that it should be, and I thought that that was intentional. Uh, I like that it wasn't really revealed right away. I like that you kind of got led into it and you had a little bit more time to kind of sit and just observe. Um, I really enjoyed that. I thought that that actually lent itself really, really well to kind of not know right away, but then after her friend gets there, and after you have the moment with the birthday cake, and then kind of things start to click, and you quickly kind of figure out what, in fact, they are there to kind of celebrate, and why, she's there to support her friend, and just talking about the kind of state of their different relationships, but this kind of trip planning and this kind of disconnect between her and her husband and then with this cat and everything else. I really, really loved it. Like I said, I thought it was really intense. I thought it should be. I thought that was what they were trying to do. I loved how they kind of led you into it. I think that it made it more intense in a way because at the very beginning you couldn't quite understand why she was reacting the way that she was, and then once you figured it out, all of her reactions really, really made sense and made it, like, I think that much more powerful.
I like how this story has a twist on children, and instead of going the normal Hollywood cliche or approach of asking for kids. It focuses on the husband and his love for their cat, but treating it like a baby. When all his wife actually wants is to have a real baby to hold for herself. I enjoyed the single location between the wife and the friend. It felt personal. It makes the audience connect with the character much more, and we get to understand why she wants to and feels the need to have a child based off how her husband is around with the cat. So really well done on that, and I appreciate the single use of the location.
So I feel like this just show like through like her development of emotions from the start of the conversation to her friend, and then it's just kind of like unfolding like something like beyond just like having a cat like in the house. So I feel like in terms of the development, it just like good like to see that like the characters like develop itself like emotionally. And even though like the shot is pretty simple, it's just like static one, but I feel like it's clear like to see her faces when she talks, and I think it's the most important thing like to see like her facial expressions change like throughout the conversation.